About to do a video on real estate. I started probably like a couple of years ago, but I never put the video out. I was gonna take y'all through a tour through Atlanta and basically show y'all a couple of my properties. I'm gonna cut it short. I'm only gonna show y'all a few of the properties because I'm gonna do a whole tour of Atlanta later, but I just wanted to do this video on real estate real quick. So let's take a ride through the east side. So I'm about to show y'all the difference of the east side, mainly Gwinnett County. You know, originally I was doing a video to show y'all the difference. You know, the Migos be talking about bandos and all that, but ain't no bandos in Gwinnett County. You know, when I do the full video, I'm gonna show y'all Bankhead and the Bluff and the bandos, because I used to be out there on Simpson Road and all of that, but I just wanted to show y'all the difference. But we're gonna take a little ride through the east side over there, Lithonia. You know what I mean, by Stevenson Road and Highway 124. You hear 21 Savage say he lived in Snellville. Well, that's what he's talking about. You know what I mean, Scenic Highway 124. But I'm gonna show y'all like 3 properties over there. You feel me? So this the crib that I own. You know what I'm saying? Right here. That was around the corner. I lived in that motherfucker about 5 years. At first somebody was renting it from me. They done painted on it. See this crib right here? I used to own this crib. We in Lithonia right now. You know what I'm saying? I never even walked in this crib. I owned it for a whole year. I used to lease it to a Section 8 tenant. You know what I mean? I had 4 properties in my name, plus a timeshare in my name, 3 properties in my baby mama name. So now we're gonna ride around the corner to... Alright, so we in Gwinnett. You know what I mean? Now look at this shit. Suburbs, nigga. Shit nice, my nigga. Niggas from the nice part of town talking all this trap whip shit. Ain't no motherfucking bandos, my nigga. What the fuck you talking about, bitch? I be in Bankhead, Simpson Road, nigga. Simpson. I be in motherfucking Zone 3. I be in Oakland City in the West End, nigga. I be in the hood. Now this is another crib a nigga used to own. Right here. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me shit about Gwinnett, nigga. We lived in this crib about a year, maybe 2. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you talking about, nigga? You getting money, bitch. And the biggest misconception about real estate is that you have to have a 700 credit score and, you know, have A1 credit. Hell, I had all these properties in 2006. When 2008 came, the recession hit. So I ended up having to do what we call a short sale. I did a short sale to get the properties out of my name. That means you buy the house for $200 and you might sell it for like $80,000. So the bank has to accept that and they take a loss. But you take a hit on your credit. But I still was able to bounce back. I never went and got no credit cards to build my credit again. I didn't do nothing. I just paid off a couple of old bills that I didn't even know I had from when I was shot. I had some medical bills from getting MRIs done and stuff like that, so I paid them off. And then within due time, the credit built itself back. I really didn't do nothing. And then I was able to go buy 2 cars at once. We got the 2016 Cherokee and a 2015 Charger with a 1% interest rate. So I had the video from when we first came home from the car lot, because I was gonna use it in a music video that I never put out, but I still got that footage, you know what I'm saying? But that just shows you, like, Donald Trump, man, that dude did bankruptcy several times and kept rebuilding. He owes some ridiculous amount, but basically credit is everything, you know what I'm saying? Credit is everything. So when people was talking about 50 Cent going bankrupt, that's nothing, you know what I'm saying? He's able to rebuild his credit after that, and that's what a lot of people did. I did what we call a short sale, but the other option that people chose to take was they did bankruptcy and then they bounced back, you know what I'm saying? But the funny thing about it, every house that I purchased was purchased from an African. From the person who sold the house, to the real estate agent, to the person who did the inspection, to the person who did the closing. Everybody was African. They all stick together. And that's one thing that Black Americans need to do. They need to learn how to stick together. So out of 7 properties, every single one of them was purchased from an African, and they were all connected. But what we would do is, some call it bird dogging. But what you do is you get the equity out of the home and you rehab the house and you fix it up. You know what I'm saying? So when you buying the house, you getting cash paid over from the seller. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we was doing, fixing up the properties and reselling them. You know, there are loopholes in the real estate game where you don't have to pay taxes and you could keep flipping your money. And that's how Donald Trump got rich. Yeah, nigga just copped that motherfucker 2015 Charger and that 2016 Cherokee. Straight paper plates over here, nigga.
Like, yo, when do we give these women accountability? Like, yo.
Yeah, because back in the days, you was allowed to slap the shit out of them and if they act up. I ain't gonna front. Them cops just come to my crib.
I'm just gonna grab her shirt and have that conversation. Like, listen.
She's gonna swing on you, bro.
You go for that, but this grab gets tighter and it gets hard. Right. You don't want to.
So you're saying I would have been wrong for punching the shit out of her?
Yeah, you punching the shit out of a girl in any situation is gonna fuck you up. It's not about right and wrong, but it's gonna put you in a way worse situation.
Right.
We're talking about a spit, though, J-Lo.
Yeah, but we're talking about life also. Because after that moment, you still gotta live. And nigga, you ain't gonna be up here just talking about it had you anything else. So that's why I'm talking about.
So you think I'm wrong?
I think it's no, I think it's wrong.
Depending on the reaction that you get.
No, I think it's smart to curb your reaction. That's what I think.
He just gave us the fucking artist.
Show you how a young nigga do shit. 2016 Cherokee, 2015 Charger. You feel me? Paper plates. Now, once I learned my lesson about real estate the hard way, I ain't want to purchase no more homes because I ain't want to be stuck. You know, we haven't had no more recessions, but when I learned the property values go up and down and you're still stuck with that original amount. And I was like, nah, I ain't want to really stay in Georgia no more. But then my pops and moms got sick, so I ended up staying anyway. But at that point, like, my sister had like 5 cribs. My cousin had about 6. Like, all my cousins had 2, 3 houses. Everybody was doing real estate, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to do that. So what me and my old lady did, we ended up doing a timeshare, you know what I'm saying? Which is the worst thing you could ever do unless you're going to pay cash for it. We went to Myrtle Beach, ended up getting a timeshare about 2 years ago or so, you know what I'm saying? But the type we got, it wasn't an actual property, it was a point system. So you pay like, I think we paid like $13,000 for a certain amount of points or whatever. And if you don't use these points, you lose them. You can only roll over like half of them. And they have these times that it's a blackout on the calendar, you can't use them. So it's like, what's the point of having it? You know what I mean? When you want to go on vacation on certain holidays, if everything's booked up. So it was kind of like a waste of money. The only good thing about it was we had something called a charter. So with that charter, you could go to certain hotels and pay half off or half the amount. So I could go to a hotel that's $200-300 and only pay $80 or $70. Now the good part about it was I could rent my room out using my name and people could go under my name. So I might pay $80 but charge them more. You know what I mean? Because I'm using the charter. Then also it was part of a yacht club. So I would have been able to get yachts on discount. But it all sounded good, but we just never used it. I never had time to really use it. You know what I'm saying? We used it one time to go to Disney World just so we didn't lose our points. You know what I'm saying? So you have these companies out here. This company charged me like $2,000 saying that they could get rid of the timeshare, get it out of my name. That's a bunch of bullshit. What they try to do is they let the loans go into default and then they fight it off your credit. But that's not what I wanted you to do. I paid you to cancel it. You know what I'm saying? And really, I'm gonna end up filing a lawsuit against them because it was some racist stuff. That's the reason why I got rid of the timeshare. It wasn't just because I wasn't using the points. But the company that I paid this money to, you're gonna get a lot of calls and text messages and stuff like that from these scammer companies saying they can get rid of your timeshare. They cannot just cancel your timeshare. That's a lie. There's companies out here falsifying information, and what they do is they let your shit go into default and they just wipe it off your credit. So when I seen that going down, you know what I mean, I immediately got out of that situation, you know what I'm saying, because of what was going on with the timeshare. Some things that they said that they were going to do, they never did, and they kind of forced me into it, so that's how I was able to get out of it. But that's the worst thing you could ever do is get a timeshare, you know what I'm saying, if you're not going to use it. Well, I know me, we use Blue Green. There's other ones out there. I think it's one called like Westgate or something like that. And then there was another one. I think it was RCI or something like that. I know they gave us a big ass book, which had like over 1,000 different hotels and resorts that you can use and go about using. But shit, if you working 2 jobs, you don't got time to use it. So it's just a waste of money. You're paying, for one, you gotta pay these fees. It's just like a homeowners association. You gotta pay these dues. You're paying a monthly mortgage on it, plus you gotta pay like $800 per year in dues, you know what I'm saying? And they want it all at once. They don't want it spread apart, you know, paying it in small portions. They want all that money up front every year, plus you got to pay your monthly mortgage every month. So you got to pay these utilities once a year, you know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, okay, they told me the first year was free. That was a lie. You know what I mean? It was like the first couple of months was free. And I had a bill that I didn't even know about, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up having to pay like $800. Then I had to pay half of the first year. So you're talking about I had to make 2 big payments on top of the monthly mortgage that I was already paying. So if you're not using that shit and you got these bills coming in the mail, it's real aggravating, real frustrating. So I wouldn't recommend anybody doing the timeshare, you know what I mean? Unless you know that you're going to be doing a lot of vacations. You know, that's really meant for people that's retired. Worst thing I ever did, worst investment I ever did.
What if you could live in a new home without a mortgage? A man in Flower Mound has done it, moved into a $300,000 house, and he only paid $16 to do it. It's a little-known Texas law, and the foreclosure mess could have him living on Easy Street, but his neighbors, well, they're less than thrilled. Channel 8's Casey Norton has this exclusive from Flower Mound.
Flower Mound's Waterford Drive is lined with well-manicured $300,000 homes. So when a new neighbor moved in without the usual sale, mortgage-paying homeowners had a few questions.
What paperwork is it and how is it legally binding if he doesn't legally own the house? He just squats there.
Lee Lowry and her husband told me the house down the street was in foreclosure for more than a year. The owner walked away, then the mortgage company went out of business. Apparently, that opened the door for someone to take advantage of the situation. Kenneth Robinson told us he's no squatter. He says he moved in on June 17th after months of research about a Texas law called adverse possession.
This is not a normal process, but it's not a process that's not known. It's just not known to everybody.
Robinson says this piece of paper gives him rights to the house. It's an online form he printed out and filed at the Denton County Courthouse for $16. It says the house was abandoned and he's claiming ownership.
I went through, looked at it and added some things here, you know what I mean, for my own protection.
The house is virtually empty, just a few pieces of furniture, no running water or electricity. But Robinson says just by setting up camp in the living room, Texas law gives him exclusive negotiating rights with the original owner. If the owner wants him out, he would have to pay off his massive mortgage debt, and the bank would have to file a complicated lawsuit. Robinson believes neither is likely, so if he stays in the house, after 3 years, he can ask the court for the title. That's your goal eventually, is to have title of this home, to be the owner of this home?
Absolutely.
And
on a record, you know what I mean? At this point, you know, since I possess it, I am the owner of the home.
Robinson posted no trespassing signs after neighbors asked police to arrest him for breaking in. But Flower Mound officers say they can't remove him from the property because home ownership is a civil matter, not criminal. Lowry and her neighbors continue to look for legal ways to get him out.
Or if he wants the house, buy the house like everyone else had to. Get the money, buy the house.
Robinson says he's not buying anything. As far as he's concerned, the $330,000 home is already his, and he has the paperwork to prove it. Casey Norton, Channel 8 News.
Now, foreclosures are down for the 6th month in a row in North Texas. August filings fell 14% compared to last year. However, something to keep in perspective. Foreclosures are still 13% higher than in August of 2000.
It's like you know where to invest your money at.
Right.
Now you say you know I've seen you said I put back in my neighborhood.
Right.
Now how important is that to put back in your neighborhood?
See, it's one of those things to where, like, if you look at yourself or any other human being around you, what do they go to work every day for? They go to pay their rent.
Yeah.
They go to pay their car note. It's good to secure the bag. Just go ahead and buy you some property so you know you'll be good for the rest of your life and you won't have to do nothing but pay taxes once a year. You got the money. Don't go spend your money on no big old pretty townhouse because you get $30,000 to $40,000 a month. Like,
yeah.
You got to understand, like, that hot record ain't going to last you 10, 20 years because a mortgage they require you 20-year payments and 30-year payments. So
explain to them, Ralo.
you gotta just secure yourself, man. That way you they got the definition of securing the bag incorrect. They not thinking of really securing themselves. Just remember, like, buy your car. Make sure your car is paid off. You did, dog.
Yeah.
Make sure your household is paid off. So when it get ugly, because it's never the sun don't shine forever, dog.
Yeah.
It's gonna always be some rainy days. It's gonna always snow some goddamn time. It's Mother Nature. You know what I'm saying? You gotta apply it to your lifestyle.
Now you've been getting I've seen on the Instagram that you said you was getting a lot of slack because you still live in your own neighborhood.
Yeah, man. You know, they feel like,
you know, you had the cars and everything, and
right.
I didn't get that. Like, why you couldn't live in your own neighborhood?
They feel like, you know, once you get a lot of money or whatnot and you become famous or what, they feel like you're supposed to go ahead and move on to better things. That's what all my partners did. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I knew that got rich, they got the fuck on. I'm the only motherfucker still there.
Wow.
And they feel like I supposed to be with them somewhere. You smell me? And that just ain't me. I just rather give back to my community. I sold dope out here in these streets all this time. I took away from it. I broke the community. Why the hell not try to fix it? Why not give back to the people? Why not do that? Because if I'm the only motherfucker they got left, I'm the hood hero. If I leave that motherfucker shit dead, dog.
Well, so would you ever, like, you know, like you have kids, would you ever move away though?
I think that God gave me a job. You smell me? And like, I gotta do that job. God gave everybody their own job.
Yeah.
The other people, he gave them a job for them to leave. They needed to leave because shit, they got other things going on in their life and other places to go in life.
Yes.
But this is my job. This is my duty that God gave me. I gotta fix this problem.
Yeah.
I gotta stay right here. This is my throne. This is where God put me at.
And it feels like you're like one of the first rappers to do this. Like, I've never seen a rapper say, yo, I'm going to live in the hood, I'm going to park my cars in the hood,
right.
and I'm going to give inspiration. And you also hire people around you.
Right.
Now, how do you go about, like, with hard work? Do you hire your own people from your hood as cameramen? Do you hire people from your hood to drive? Even you said your driver.
Yeah. I hire everybody. I use whatever. A person to come around me. You know what I'm saying? I let them stay around me for a couple months. You'll find out if they flaw or not, because I pray a lot. If a motherfucker can't pray as much as me, he don't believe in God. If he can't be loyal to God, he can't be loyal to me. You smell me? Whatever I got going on, I just test a person loyalty. I leave money around them, still they're gonna steal or whatnot. See, I just test people. Whatever I see they scrimps in, because I get them to do shit, whether it's washing the car, whether it's goddamn driving the car, whether it's taking a picture of me or recording me on the microphone, whatever they engineering, whatever they good at, I use everybody's scrimps around me. Whatever he want to do in life and whatever he want to do, on 100% with him. You smell me? And I just put my money in that situation, and the person getting paid for what they like doing the most. And what they good at. You smell me? So I give everybody a job. He like to hold a gun. If he like to hold a gun, you gonna hold that motherfucker and get paid for it, dog.
Okay.
You want to look tough in the club, you gonna be my security, dog. Whatever you want to do, I'm 100% with you. If you want to rap, all right, you gonna be my artist. I'm gonna sign you. You want to make beats? You my producer. I'm gonna sign you, and we just gonna keep
make money
going in the circle. You did?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna goddamn go outside the box, dog. For what?
Another thing, which I'm gonna show y'all in this video, it talks about the dangers of CPN numbers. CPN numbers are not illegal. What's illegal is adding a trade line, using dead people's social, or using somebody else's social. There's nothing illegal about a CPN number. Now, when you do a CPN number and you apply for stuff, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get denied because you have to have a credit history on it. So that's where you need the trade lines at. You know what I mean? So it's at your own risk with CPN numbers. You know, if you do get approved and you build your own credit on that CPN number, then there's no danger. But if you try to go pay somebody to add a trade line, that's when you could get caught up. But watch the little video clip on that, breaking that down. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't recommend anybody doing it, but that's an option that people are out here doing to buy stuff, but usually it runs into some issues and they get caught up.
How some families trying to improve their credit scores can end up in trouble with the feds.
Now, one working mom is warning others after what sounded like a quick way to boost her credit turned into a nightmare that nearly put her in prison.
Senior investigative reporter Scott Friedman has what you need to know to stay out of trouble. Scott?
Yeah, guys, investigators tell us they see more people trying to improve their credit using what's called a CPN, a credit privacy number. Websites sometimes advertise them as an ID number you can use to keep your Social Security number private. But some people buy CPNs believing they can use them while applying for credit cards to build a brand new credit history. And that can lead to big trouble. If you want a new credit card, a new car, a new house, but need to boost your credit score, a CPN may seem like a magic solution.
You can use your CPN to get credit cards. You can use your CPN to build a whole brand new life, okay?
Ads online make it sound like everyone's using them to keep their Social Security number private.
Now, CPNs are commonly used by celebrities, members of Congress, and witnesses protected by the federal government.
They're even discussed at seminars.
I'm working on a CPN right now.
Like this one NBC5 Investigates attended with a hidden camera.
I heard everybody was doing it. So I was like, okay, we'll do this.
Swatisha Keith bought a CPN from someone advertising on Craigslist.
So this sounded like a chance to start over.
Yes, start brand new is what it felt like.
She paid $1,500 for a 9-digit CPN, 9 digits like a Social Security number. She says the seller told her she could use a CPN instead of her Social Security number to apply for credit. This would give her a new credit history, a chance to wipe her old history clean. At first, it seemed to work. She used her CPN to get a new credit card and a loan for a new car.
And within 2 months of me having it, I seen my credit score go up. It was in the 700s. So I was like, oh, this is perfect.
But the dream ended when federal agents showed up at work.
I got taken downtown to the federal building where I was booked and held.
The mother of 3 was facing up to 30 years in federal prison.
How scared were you?
I was terrified because I didn't think anything like that would ever happen to me because I've never been in trouble with the law before.
They hear an idea that is seemingly too good to be true, and they choose to believe it.
Matt Pannell investigated CPN cases in Texas and Oklahoma as a federal agent with the Social Security Administration. He says when a credit application asks for your Social Security number, you can't use a CPN instead.
So that is a false representation on a loan application. And that's against the law in this country. It's a federal offense.
It's without a doubt a crime that's on the rise.
A special police fraud unit in Houston is seeing more people using CPNs to get car loans. Sergeant Darren Schlosser says some he's arrested seem completely unaware they're committing a crime because they read something that made them think it's okay.
I'm extremely concerned that a normally law-abiding citizen would obtain a CPN because they're desperate for a credit line that they need.
Investigators tell us many CPNs they see are really Social Security numbers belonging to children with no credit history. Or CPN sellers may use certain websites to identify numbers that have not been issued as Social Security numbers yet. Since banks sometimes run quick computer credit checks, they may not notice the number a person uses on an application is not the Social Security number they've used in the past.
Without a doubt, more and more people are going to be brought into this world, particularly with the sales pitches.
So we wondered who's been selling CPNs online in Texas and what they're saying to customers. Our search led us to this meeting room at a Holiday Inn.
I've been dealing with CPNs since I think about 18 years old.
This man calls himself Trey the Credit Coach. We first saw him on his YouTube channel where he offered CPNs for $20.
In 1 month total, we have done over 500 CPNs. Man, that is a lot.
When the credit coach advertised a seminar at a Houston hotel, we sent one of our team members with a hidden camera, listening as the coach described himself as a CPN pioneer.
See, I got in the CPN game before it was introduced to the internet. You know, I like to say that I'm kind of one of the founders.
But he warned the group if they want a CPN, they might be too late because banks are catching on.
They scan every social that comes through them. And they're going to shut down every CPN eventually. Eventually, they're going to shut it down. So
we discovered the credit coach's real name is Tremaine Manley.
Tremaine Scott Friedman. I'm a reporter with NBC in Dallas.
We called him to ask for an interview. He declined to speak to us on camera and told me he had only sold maybe 10 CPNs over the last 2 years, a far cry from what he said online.
1 month total, we have done over 500 CPNs.
Manley told me he warns customers, quote, it's on you to tell the bank that you are using a CPN, and that customers who use CPNs to apply for credit do that at their own risk. He says CPNs he sells are not Social Security numbers belonging to other people. Shortly after our phone call, Manley posted this message on YouTube announcing we are not offering CPN numbers, then posted a video saying he's done with CPNs.
Some of you spent almost 2 years on trying to figure this whole CPN thing out when you could have used that same exact time figuring out your credit reporting.
CPN sellers only break the law if they knowingly sell a stolen Social Security number or sell a fabricated credit history attached to a number. But authorities say many sellers offer only 9-digit numbers, nothing more, shifting possible risks to customers.
They're just the one marketing this to people who are unknowing or unsuspecting that they are actually violating some federal law.
I wouldn't want to see anybody else going through what I had to go through.
Swatisha Keith now warns people never to use anything but their Social Security number on a credit application. She avoided prison. Federal prosecutors agreed to drop the charges after she served 18 months probation and paid restitution. A story she wants others to hear if they're hoping for a quick fix.
If I was them, I wouldn't I wouldn't dare try it, because trust me, it's going to come to an end.
There are so many websites selling CPNs. We found one that said it was based in Dallas. We reached out, and shortly after, they pulled down many of their postings. The owner would not return our calls. And this summer, guys, the federal government is going to give banks some additional tools to help verify that the number a person puts on a credit application is, in fact, their Social Security number. That means a lot of people could be caught more quickly if they're not familiar with the rules.
Yeah, well, hopefully word will spread.
Yeah,
interesting.
What's good, y'all? It's T.Dot. I had like 300 DMs all asking the same question, so I thought I'd address it all in one with this video. I was taught the game was supposed to be bot, not top, but I'm about to put y'all into some free game again. So all y'all asked how you get into real estate, like how do you start, especially when I said, when you get your first little 15, 20 bands and you're trying to play with it. Well, for starters, to answer a lot of questions, no, they technically do not ask where the bread came from. So you're off good with that. But house auctions is the biggest thing. You got to get into house auctions. You got to search house auctions, and you want to find houses around 15 to 20 grand. And for example, when you get a house for 15 grand, you pay 10% of that. So you only have to throw $1,500 down. Once you throw the $1,500 down, you have 90 days to pay the rest of that off. You don't have to pay it all off in one. You can use cashier's checks, $3,000, $9,000, etc. You know what I mean, to pay it off. But within that 90 days, you also want to make sure your credit is solid. Credit is very important. You don't want to fuck up your credit while you're young. You want to make sure that shit's solid, because honestly, that's more valuable than all this money is and shit, for real. So once your credit's good, you're going to use your credit to go get like 4 or 5 credit cards. You want them to be worth like 9 or 10 grand. And you're going to use those credit cards to basically renovate your house. Get your supplies, all the shit you need to build up the house and renovate it. Make it worth more than what you bought. Then it's plain and simple after that. Once you do that, renovate it, you sell the house back, make your money, pay off your shit, and then boom. But like, don't be afraid to start from the ground up. Like, you gotta do this shit yourself. So a lot of niggas are scared to make that jump off and really invest. Like, you gotta invest in this shit, I'm telling you. Don't be scared. Don't let people say, nah. If you believe in it, if you got a set plan, follow that shit. It works. I'm telling y'all, it pays off. Good, y'all. It's T.Dot. I'm about to put y'all into something they should be teaching y'all in school, especially my young trap niggas. Once you get your first little bag and shit, it's cool to go get some jewelry and shit, but if you want to do something with your money, I'm gonna put you on to something. So look, I just got my 5th or 6th property, I believe it is, for roughly like 20 bands. I mean, it's not much, and it wasn't shit at first, but I'm about to put another roughly 30, 40K into it, and then I'm gonna be able to sell it for like 100, 150 bands. The house down the street just sold for 170. So this is gonna be a good deal. So I'm about to, here, let me show these niggas something. like I said. Got to work for like 20 bands. We working right now. It's good, man. But yeah, we gutted the whole downstairs and the upstairs. We're gonna put another roughly 30, 40K into it, like I said. And do an easy 150, you feel me? Easy legal flip for my niggas, you feel me?
Listen, man, Kanye ain't wrong, man. Y'all supposed to, everybody should want this for theyself, man. Listen, land, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Niggas spending $3 million on 1,000 square feet with no yard. When you get a little estate, nigga, y'all niggas tweaking, man. I'm out the way with it, man. Y'all niggas like each other too much, man. I'm about to go fucking hibernate, nigga, with the bears and shit, nigga. Fit.
HBO, labels going public. Get me on that IPO, got acres up in Joshua. Michael Jordan endorsements, Reggie Ethan. Send them boxes up, I put them fuckers on and watch the stock go up. I made my chain in platinum and I still ain't even platinum yet.
This be in the motherfucking desert. You know, see that mountain over there? That's mine. This be
And the other 40 is from
other business investments, real estate, all type of shit. I can't do music forever. Like I can get paid off music, but I can't just like get up and go get the mic and jump around on this stage forever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it come a time where shit gets slow and shit stop once you hit a certain age. So like you do real estate, like just keep other things going. Like once you hit that age, you still got bill money coming through.
How'd you get into that real estate?
Well, I started out early. I started when I was in the hood. I had bought a house, a little foreclosure house, and this joint was like super regular. I spent like I put maybe like probably $7,000 for it, something like that.
7,000?
Yeah, maybe like 7,000. So I took the house. I had some crackheads. I was paying to fix the house up.
This is real hood shit for real. I hope y'all taking notes.
They were fixing the house up.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got the house fixed up, it was looking a little decent. So I bust out. I go to the bank trying to get my first bank account. When I'm getting an account, they was like, I was asking them different questions about banking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put 500 each account, my saving, my checking. And she like, okay. So she said, we buy homes. We give loans for homes. She was explaining to me about how the bank work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, for real. So I leave. I look over the shit. Boom. I put some more money to the house. I probably got like 15 and I went back to the bank. I said, I want to get a loan. I want to sell the house. So when I offered to sell the house, they offered me something too low. So I'm like, damn, it's too low. It was too low. Probably like 25 or something like that.
But you put 15 in, so you was at a 10. You was like at a 10K profit.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm like, nah, that's too low.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, boom. I'm like, all right. So what would it be if I get a loan? And the loan was like an extra down, almost like 4,000 more. So I'm already profiting. I'm profiting 14,000. So I ended up doing a loan. When I got the loan for the house, I still had the home to make money out of, but I couldn't sell it or nothing. I ain't even really own it until I paid them their money back.
Right.
So
you rented it out.
Found someone to get in there and pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
They paid rent. I took their rent money every month and paid the bank back with their money.
They loan.
And if I knew it, I just kept doing that shit over and over again. Shit, I just had houses and money and all type of shit.
Until you built your grandmother's house
shit
over.
Ground up. I knocked down 2 houses to build my grandma's house. I knocked down 2 and a shed, a big ass shed that was in the back. But
and she got the biggest crib on the block.
Biggest crib on the block. My mama got my nice house. Everybody.
But then don't downplay because then you bought the whole block.
Yeah, I got all this shit. I'm buying all the lots. See, land don't cost nothing, but like these youngins they don't know like land on it costs like fucking man. You go get land for $80 at the lowest.
That's crazy.
If not $50, like you gotta just know where you buying it and making sure you in the flood zone. You know what I'm saying? When I came in, I was buying foreclosure homes because I was swinging. You know what I'm saying? But like now, like all my shit, I get ground up. I don't fuck with no used houses no more. I got my own construction crew. We don't do no playing. Like we building this shit like ourselves.
What would be your one piece of advice for somebody like you who's jumping into real estate for the first time?
Don't expect no money to come right back fast because I done invest money before in some shit. Like I put like a light 30 in, thought it was gonna come right back, and I was stuck. Then hell shit going. I was like, damn, I ain't got shit going. And I was stuck waiting on the money and shit. The money was taking forever. So it's like when you invest your money, make sure you invest in something that you ain't gotta never touch.
Like, because I asked you to leave because you did not pay your rent. I asked you to leave my house. I wasn't evicting you. I didn't want to even put an eviction on your record. I just asked you to leave my house and you do this shit? Like, because I asked you to leave my house and you wouldn't leave, talking about, Timmy, you gonna have to take me to court? You do all this though? Like, I ain't never did shit to you, never. I gave your bitch ass a place to live when nobody else would give you a place to live. And you tear my shit up. Ain't no scam, bitch, because ain't no insurance on this motherfucker. This really come out my pocket, bitch. You gotta have insurance to pull a scam, dumb bitch. Like, you did this shit to me because I asked you to pay me my money? I work hard every motherfucking day. I go to work and stay the fuck out the way. I don't bother no motherfucking body. I didn't care if you and your nigga was in this bitch selling drugs, doing whatever the fuck you was doing. I didn't give a fuck. I told you, long as you keep my house up and pay me my rent, I wasn't gonna fuck with y'all. Ain't no landlord doing that shit. Because I know y'all gotta feed y'all family like I gotta feed mine, bitch. This what the fuck y'all do to people? I swear to God on my mama, bitch, if I see you, I'm going to prison. And that's on my kids. I'll shoot you dead in your motherfucking